Before we review the PDPM analyzer, we thought we'd discuss where the data is actually being pulled from. As you know, in the current MDS, there is not a field for the primary diagnoses. It is for this reason we are using Section I of the MDS to determine the primary medical condition category that best describes the primary reason for admission. Copilot has been mapping live data for some time now, and we have found this field to be highly reliable in predicting the primary diagnoses. In October of next year, the section of the MDS I0020A will be transformed to I0020B. This will become the field for the primary diagnoses. Here we have the PDPM Auditor. Please note, this is a non-PHI version of the tool. We have hidden the names of the facilities, and on the subsequent tabs, we will be jumbling the names of the patients. The user has the ability to define the date range dynamically, and please note, this is live data. Today is the 25th of June, and so this information is being updated live. What we're doing is taking all of the RUG claims in the date range you've defined for any of the facilities you have selected. And you can see here the total RUG reimbursement. And what would happen if we took these RUG claims and simply applied PDPM mathematics? You can see the variance. So in this example, this facility is in jeopardy of losing $1 million if they do not make any changes to the way they've documented their RUG claims in preparation for PDPM. Below, we have a bar chart that will show you reimbursement on each day of the stay. And so here you can see on the first day of the stay, if we take these RUG claims and apply PDPM math, we see that the reimbursement would be $257,000, of which PT is $36,000. $33,000 is OT, $10,000 for speech, $90,000 for NTA. Here we have the nursing, and finally the non-case mix. Now you'll notice in the first 3 days there is a escalation to the reimbursement for NTA dollars. That escalation causes an increase in the first 3 days of the stay. So you'll notice that there is actually not a variance in the first 3 days. But on day 4, the NTA dollars drop. And so here we begin to see a loss as compared to the RUGs claims. This increase in NTA dollars has many folks thinking they should go after a more acute patient. I would caution against that. We recommend that you assess the current acuity level for your patient population. And to help users do this, we're pulling in the nursing RUG rates. And so I can see here that most of the patients in the facility are in the upper nursing RUG category, meaning most of the patients in this building are already very acute. We just need to do a more thorough job of documenting the patients we are already taking. We can also take these RUG claims and show you which medical category, or pardon me, which reimbursement category the patients would fall into under PDPM. The bulk of this facility's patients would be in the medical management category, followed by orthopedic, major joint, acute neurological, and so forth. If I hover, I can see what percentage of the PDPM reimbursement is attributed to each of the clinical categories, what the average daily rate is, and I can also see the nursing case mix. Now, this first page paints a dire picture. It shows you what would happen if you did not make a change to your RUG claims and simply applied PDPM mathematics. The subsequent pages will help you understand how to manage better around PDPM. So on page 2, under the audit stats, I can see that there are 294 patients in the date range I've selected, of which Copilot has identified 33 patients with higher reimbursement potential, or the option to possibly make an extra 11% or an extra $25,000. To help the user understand where these patients are, we have listed them here on this table. And again, these patient names are jumbled. So we're going to take this top patient. I can see the admission date, what the reimbursement look like currently, and what the gain potential could be. We could be making an extra $2,900. If we go to the next tab, we can look this patient up. We can type in the name here. And I can see RUG reimbursement for this patient, what would happen under PDPM. This particular example is an outlier, so this patient does actually generate more money under PDPM. I can see the PDPM percentage category breakdown, the average daily rate, and I can see reimbursement on each day of the stay for the patient. and it appears that this patient was in the facility for 92 days. Now here is where the magic is going to happen. So currently we are mapping, as I said before, data from I0020, and that RUG ICD-10 puts the patient into the medical management category and generates $80,000 over the course of their 92-day stay. But if you look below, you can see all of the extra ICD-10s that were in I8000 of the MDS. Copilot's able to tell you which ones are return to provider, meaning you cannot use them under PDPM, which ones you could use under PDPM. And so simply by moving this diagnosis up into the pole position, we see that the patient would make an extra $3,000. Copilot also gives your IDT teams a tool to go through and examine each of the patients. So on the NTA tab, at a glance, I can see which one of the categories this patient was actually able to be assessed in. And so where we have an NTA, I can do the same thing with the nursing. See the nursing case mix. Are they depressed? Nursing function, the PT, the OT for the stay, the PT for the stay, the daily rates, and finally for speech. The workflow under PDPM come October of next year will very much be that you would want to open your MDS on the first day, document the primary diagnoses, fill up I8000 of the MDS, get your BIM scores going, get your evals in place, and then round about day 3 or 4, the IDT team could come together, and using this tool, they could see the number of patients that came into the facility in the last 3 or 4 days, get a complete list of any patients that have an opportunity for higher reimbursement, and then be able to go through and assess each of the patients in the categories of the PDPM reimbursement model. This is the PDPM Auditor on Copilot.